Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the episode 70 of the Kpush podcast. I'd like to say I did a lot of prep work and that I have a very well thought out episode for you. I don't know, so we're going to wing it a little more than usual today. Today we have a couple news stories to talk about, though. Starting off, we have Europe. I'm just gonna wait until I pull up the headline, so I can read it correctly because I don't want to. Got it. Okay. And I'm gonna get the and chart out too. There's a lot of prep work I didn't do. All right. UK breaks record for highest temperatures as Europe sizzles. Ooh. Sizzles. What the fuck does that even mean? What? This is bad for sure. The European heat wave, and I like it. If you see up here, what is this? AP, you know AP News. Who doesn't know AP News? AP News just has like a list of topics right at the top of their website. So it goes trending news, inflation, gun violence, abortions, Russia-Ukraine war, midterm elections, and then the European heat wave. Wow. It's right up there with the Russia-Ukraine war now. We care as much about a little heat as you do an actual war. In fact, European heat wave comes before the Russia-Ukraine war. I just read it out of order for comedic effect. But nevertheless, according to AP News, European heat wave should be in front of Russia-Ukraine war. Britain shattered its record for highest temperature ever registered Tuesday amid a heat wave that has seared swaths of Europe as the UK national weather forecasters such as highs are now in fact the life and country ill prepared for such extremes. I mean, what do you... Wait, hold on. What? The UK Met Office... Wait, I'm skipping around a little bit. The UK Met Office Weather Agency registered a provisional reading of 40.3 degrees Celsius, 104.5 degrees Fahrenheit. We're talking about an average day in Texas. I mean, we're literally talking about an average day in Texas, and it's bigger than the Russia-Ukraine war. I mean, that's what it is. It's like when the degrees become above 103, right? It's a worldwide news story. And, like, in all honesty, right? Before, the highest was 101.7 Fahrenheit, set in 2019. So, it's gone up 3 degrees. This is what the big news story is about, ladies and gentlemen. 3 fucking degrees Fahrenheit. This is what we're talking. Let Europe burn. If Europe cannot handle 104 degrees, let it burn. I mean, really, survival of the fittest. Seriously, if you cannot handle 104 degrees, burn. Too bad your shit fucking country can't handle. There's so much shit everywhere in Europe. Too bad that they can't fucking clean up after themselves. So whenever it gets above 100 degrees, whenever it gets above 100 fucking degrees, everything just starts burning because they can't pick up after themselves over there. You know, just like fuck it. I don't care. Like until it's like 110 degrees. Shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, like California, right? Oh my God, the California fires. Let California burn. Like, I'm sorry that that place is so fucking disgusting that whenever it gets above the temperature 100 degrees, it just starts to catch on fire. We can't do anything about you. Okay? If you're not gonna pick up your shit off of the walls, we can't do anything. We can't. So, let Europe burn. This is payback for the colonies and the empire. So, we got our payback, ladies and gentlemen. The other big thing that's in the news, and I think I'm just going to start renaming this podcast to "The U.S. is ending, go fuck yourself, and maybe snort some Molly." Hold on, I should look this up, because I heard it on Crystal and Sager, but I don't believe them, because it's such a crazy story, and apparently, what I heard, no, this is all from 2019. Why? I can't do this story. I should have just... God fucking damn it. Alright, well, what I heard on Crystal and Sager was that apparently Shane Gillis was on Andrew Yang's podcast. I'm going to find this. Andrew Yang sits down with comedian Shane Gillis. Okay, yes, I got it, motherfuckers. This is real. This is real. This is not fake news. Shane Gillis had a sit-down podcast with former president nominee Andrew Yang. And apparently, and I'm not, listen, I don't know if I'll listen to this podcast. We don't need an ad right now. We really don't. But apparently, in the podcast, they decide to nominate Matthew McConaughey, which is, I mean, pack your bags. Pack your bags. I don't know what you're supposed to do in this situation. Because, number one, Shane Gillis is sitting down with somebody in politics. Never a good sign. Somebody who looks like Shane Gillis should not be sitting with anyone who even remotely is associated with politics. And nevertheless, somebody who goes on Joe Rogan and will put down 15 beers should not be talking to a former president nomination. If you can't see what's wrong here, I'm dyslexic. And if I have to spell this out for you, you have to be retarded. Because there's no other way to put this. And then during the podcast, they decide to nominate Matthew McConaughey as president. It's over. It's over. And like Yager from Crystal and Jaeger. I still don't know his name or how to pronounce it. And we're just still going to be playing this game. He apparently said that Matthew McConaughey has some decent political ideas and apparently knows somewhat what the fuck he's talking about. Nevertheless, can we start out slow? Like, please. Can we just start, like, when you're becoming a politician, just starting out slow is not a bad idea. Become like an alderman or like a governor or a mayor. There's like a lawyer. There are levels to these things. You just don't show up and become president. What the fuck are we doing here? And what is Andrew Yang? Why is he nominating Matthew McConaughey? I feel like this is a fuck you. This is his fuck you to politics, right? He went out, he tried to get presidency, right, against Biden and Trump and lost. Do you know how angry he must be? If I was Andrew Yang, right, and I don't give a fuck what political aisle you're on, Andrew Yang is like 10,000 times better than fucking Trump or Biden could ever be. And he lost. So now, what is he going to do? He's going to go on a podcast with Shane Gillis and nominate Matthew McConaughey. And this is his fuck you. And he's a genius. He's a fucking genius. And don't fucking put it away, take it away from him. It's good water. Anyway, so Europe's on fire. What are you going to do? Let it burn. Matthew McConaughey is going to be our president. And what else? What else is there to talk about? Oh! There's another shooting. Hooray! We get to talk about another shooting. I don't have it pulled up on my computer, unfortunately. Apparently, this happened 1 hour ago. You're motherfucking on time this time. We're fucking getting it out early, bitch. An hour after it happened, we're already making jokes about it. Let's go. Let's find what political take we can put on this shooting. Because I don't know how many more jokes. Greenwood Police Chief Jim Eisen said, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Actions in Sunday's shooting were proficient and tactically sound. So, when the police chief is complimenting, right, and his last name is Dickens, so I can, Elijah, I think it's Elijah Dickens' actions in Sunday's shooting were proficient and tactically sound. When you have a police chief complimenting a mass shooter, it's over. I really, pack your fucking bags. You are not going to be able to stay here for much longer. But the weird part is, right, and I'm looking about it, right, so it's a thing. Shit. 4 dead, 2 injured. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but if all you have to do is kill 4 people and injure 2, and you get complimented from the police chief, I mean, I don't know how proficient and tactically sound that is, Mr. Police Chief of whatever fucking place you're at. Why the fuck is it proficiently and tactically sound to only kill 4 people in the mall? Was there 6 in the mall? Was there 6 people in the entirety of the entire mall? How many fucking people are in the mall? And you only killed 4, and that's proficient and tactically sound? Get the fuck out of here. Are you fucking kidding me with this? As the hours wound down toward closing time at the Greenwood Park Mall on July 17, 2020, a shooter opened fire. The The shooting happened in the food court around the mall 6. I mean, come on. And the first emergency calls were received around the mall's 6 p.m. closing time. The first emergencies were received at 6:05 p.m. What fucking mall closes at 6 p.m.? Maybe this mall deserved to be chewed up. I mean, really? Like, what fucking place shuts down at 6 p.m.? Are you fucking kidding me? The disgrace. So, this dumb motherfucker goes and kills 4 people in the food court. The police aren't even called until 5 minutes after the shooting starts. Only kills 4 people. And that is proficient and tactically sound. I'm not lying. I could be the best mass shooter of all time. Truly, these people who are causing these mass shootings suck. And it's really, really hard for me to be scared by these people who can only seem to kill less than 5. Elijah Dickens of Sumar interviewed in a mass shooting at the Greenwood Park Mall on a Sunday night. That's good. For sure, go interview the shooter. We're very thankful a young 22-year-old man stopped this violent act. This good man, Greenwood's Good Samaritan, acted within seconds, stopping the shooter and saving lives. So, the shooter wasn't even stopped by a cop. Oh, Elijah Dickens intervened. Elijah Dickens did not cause the shooting. My bad. Whoops. Do not trust me with anything I say on here. Please, I'm telling you, do not trust a single fucking word I say on this podcast. So we don't know the shooter apparently. But a 22-year-old stopped. What? He used an AR-15 too. So, using an AR-15, whoever the shooter is, not Elijah Dickens. Elijah Dickens, American hero, stopped the mass shooting before the police could. Well, if you ever go to a mall, be prepared to stop a mass shooting. That's all I have to say. So, another shooting down in the books. It's probably going to cause a lot of talk about gun control and about how gun control could make malls better. Because we care about malls. That's right. You've heard people talk about malls and about how like people are always wanting to go to them and about how people want to spend all their time there and how we didn't really, about how much we cared when we shut down the malls during the pandemic and like half of the stores are now empty and all the malls are probably shit in America now. And there might have only been 6 or 7 people in that mall. So he might have killed like 90 or 95% of the people in that mall in its entirety. So, it's amazing. It's amazing. Also, proficient and tactically sound. He was talking about Elijah Dickens, not the shooter. Because I was going to say. But, when you have a civilian, right? Right, so I missaid that. I'm sorry, police chief. You weren't saying that the shooter was tactically sound and proficient. But why should a citizen in a mall grabbing a hot dog or a hamburger, perhaps, coming out of Spencer's buying a Rick and Morty t-shirt has to now be proficient and tactically sound and stop a mass shooter. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. And also, if you require citizens, which is kind of what you're having them do, if you require citizens to be proficient and tactically sound at all times throughout the day because the police cannot handle fucking dog shit anymore, maybe, just maybe, you should let them have a gun. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Just maybe. You should if you're going to have citizens stop mass shootings because of the fact the police force sucks, maybe you should let them have weapons. Just a thought. Just a thought. Just an idea. And other things is that I thought about this story the other day. Quigley was on this podcast once a very, very long time ago. He's never been back on. He's never going to be on this podcast. And I'm very, very sound knowing that he will never be on this podcast. Nevertheless, he gave me a 12-inch, no, it was 17-inch dildo for my 17th birthday. And I put it in, we had this arcade machine. In my basement, I had an arcade machine that I would, play, and it got broke, right? So it broke for whatever reason. It was one of those arcade games that had like 3,000 games because it had like a computer inside the actual arcade machine, like the insides. You could play up to like 3,000 some games or whatever, and it broke, and we had to get rid of it. So I put my dildo inside the arcade machine. My parents gave the arcade machine to somebody, and I always wonder if they ever found that dildo. And if they did find the dildo, what did they think about it? And did they use it? I've always wondered, if you found a dildo in an arcade machine that somebody gave to you, what would you do with the dildo? With this 17-inch dildo? I don't know what I would do. I really don't know. I might kiss it, like just a little kiss. I don't know. Who knows what to do? That's it. That's the whole story. I have nothing else to say. I thought I was gonna be able to think about more shit to say about that. Moving on. I got an apartment. That was fun. We got an apartment, I think, in Austin. We found it, and I'm not sure where we're gonna be able to set up the podcast studio, but we'll definitely figure that out. I think Liz is starting to think that, like, the podcast studio is somewhat a suggestion and not mandatory, and that's not the case at all. The podcast studio is extremely mandatory. It's happening, and it's really the only reason why we're moving is for me and Dominic to try and get started in our careers of being a comedian. So we'll have multiple conversations about that. I've been working like fucking crazy hours. I've been working 35 hours a week, 40 hours a week. And my back is just fucking killing me. Fuck. I get a lot of money though. I'm less worried for Texas now about renting stuff and my fees and how all that shit's gonna be able to play out because I have a lot more money saved up than I did, which is super super exciting. Being able to have that sort of leverage, it's a power. It's definitely a trump card. It's definitely a trump card that you can use, and it might give me more time to do this shit and set this shit up in Austin, Texas, which is super super important. And I want to be done with jobs like as soon as I fucking can. Really, I don't want to be able to. I don't want to go into work anymore. I don't want to have a schedule where I have to wait every week and I have to clock in and I have to clock out and I have to be at a certain place at a certain time. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to wake up. I want to figure out where the nearest comedy spots are, where I can go get stage time. And I want to figure out, and not figure out, and I just want to work on this podcast. That's it. That's all I want to do is work on this podcast. Sorry, I forgot to make the like and chart. And if you're new here, we do a like and an whenever I catch myself saying the words like and an I tally it because I'm a piece of shit. I don't know how to not say like and an Anyway, I want to be able to just focus on this type of shit and build this type of shit and I want to be one of the best podcasters in the fucking world. I mean, that's my goal, is to have one of the best podcasts that ever existed on the planet. And for people to know me and to have an audience where people listen, people tune in. This is my dream. These are what I want to do in my life. And I'm extremely, extremely motivated, and I've never been more motivated at this point right now. And I've talked about this on the podcast. It's been very fucking difficult to come home after an 8-hour shift and just work on this. Just keep continuously working. And I feel so tired now all the time. And even though that I'm tired all the time, I'm still having a hard time sleeping, and I'm fucking working myself to death. But I'm probably putting in 10, 15 hours into podcasting a week right now on top of working 30, 40 hours. And I'm balancing that with having friends and having a girlfriend and also in the process of moving. So, I mean, it's just crazy. Like, it really is just the amount of time I'm putting into this, the amount of energy. It's crazy. I mean, the promo videos take so much time just uploading them. Uploading them to every single social media probably takes just 20 minutes by itself on like a good day. And that's if I use the right computer. And that doesn't include the editing and the exporting and the importing and all that filing and all that annoying type of shit that comes with podcasting and trying to stay organized. And like I said, those sacrifices you give up. Like, I had family come in town. I had the option to give up my bedroom or give up my basement. And if I gave up the basement, I wouldn't have the podcast room. And so I slept in the basement for a week. And I'm not saying that, oh my God, look at me, I had to sleep on the side of the walk. I'm so fucking, I'm struggling so much for this. But I gave up my fucking room. I mean, that has to count for something, right? Like, you have to be able to give up these small things that you do to be able to progress in your future and to dedicate yourself to something. And I have fully dedicated myself over the past month and a half, every single fucking week, just working on this. Just constantly focusing, constantly scheduling, constantly editing, uploading, just all the time. And I haven't even had time to like find a spot to perform. I looked last night, and it looks like the comedy clubs are now somewhat back with doing open mic nights. But it's still hard to find a place here that does an open mic night and lets 18-year-olds in. It's very difficult. It's hard. I can't get in most places because I'm not 18 or because I'm not 21, and it's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. But hold on, Noah Belito is calling me. I'm having him on the podcast. This was a good episode, though. I think I'm gonna have to wrap this up. This is gonna be a short episode. You're probably wondering why the fuck is this episode so short, but we got big things coming up. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I know texting is not professional at all, and I apologize, but unfortunately it is for the podcast, and I do have to wrap this thing up. I needed to send that quick text just so that I know I got his phone call, but I'm going to wrap this up. I should be having a podcast come out with Charlie and Noah. I have to wrap this up really quick. I wanted to get out a solo podcast because I'm trying to record a solo podcast before I do any sort of podcast with a guest. This was super fun. I had a lot of fun time doing this. I thought I wasn't going to have a fun time doing this, but this episode was actually pretty decent. I'm sorry that it was only 30 minutes, but what the fuck are you going to do? Like, I'm sorry. This is all the time I got. I busted my ass. I really did try. I pushed it back. I had to do, I wanted to look up a bunch of stories so that I could have stuff to talk about. I had some stuff to talk about. I had to think about some stuff. There's prep that goes into these solo podcasts now, guys. I do try and do some prep work for this. Unfortunately, though, this is going to be the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys are paying attention, if you are upset that this episode was cut short, there's a billion other solo episodes that I've recorded, and there will be another episode with Noah and Charlie to come out soon. So if you're angry, you can listen to that. Thank you guys so much, though, for watching or listening, whatever you're doing. If you're on Spotify or YouTube, I don't give a fuck. Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Bye-bye.